and carried him from the building. Benjamin did not resist, but he had made his point. As long as Quakers owned slaves, there would be no business as usual if Benjamin could help it. His brothers and sisters had made peace with the devil, so he used his body to disrupt their hypocritical, pious routines. This spectacular prophetic performance was one moment of guerrilla theater among many. Benjamin repeatedly dramatized what was wrong in both the Society of Friends and the world at large. For a quarter century, he railed against slavery in one Quaker meeting after another, in and around Philadelphia, confronting slave owners and slave traders with a savage, most un-Quaker-like fury. Whenever he performed guerrilla theater, his fellow Quakers removed him by physical force as a troublemaker or disorderly person, as they had done in Burlington. He did not struggle against eviction, but back he came, again and again, undeterred, or rather, more determined than ever. He began to stage his theater of apocalyptic outrage in public venues, including city streets and markets. He refused to be cowed by the rich and powerful, as he freely spoke his mind. He practiced what the ancient Greeks called parrhesia, free, fearless speech, which required courage in the face of danger. He insisted on the utter depravity and sinfulness of man-stealers, who were, in his view, the literal spawn of Satan. He considered it his godly duty to expose and drive them out. His confrontational methods made people talk about him, his ideas, the nature of Quakerism and Christianity, and, most of all, slavery. His first biographer, Benjamin Rush, physician, reformer, abolitionist, and signer of the Declaration of Independence, noted that there was a time when the name of this celebrated Christian philosopher was familiar to every man, woman, and to nearly every child in Pennsylvania. For or against, everyone told stories about Benjamin Lay. The Zealot carried his activism into print, publishing in 1738 one of the world's first books to demand the abolition of slavery. All slave keepers that keep the innocent in bondage, apostates. All enslaved people were innocent, Benjamin believed, so he called for all to be emancipated immediately and unconditionally, with no compensation to slave owners. Slave keepers had transgressed the core beliefs of Quakerism in particular and Christianity in general. They should be cast out of the church. Benjamin wrote his book at a time when slavery seemed to many people around the world as natural and unchangeable as the sun, the moon, and the stars in the heavens. No one had ever taken such a militant, uncompromising, universal stand against slavery in print or in action. Benjamin demanded freedom now. Perhaps because he had little education, Benjamin ignored the rules of convention in writing his book. It made for odd reading then and since, but it is a veritable treasure trove for a historian. A mixture of autobiography, prophetic biblical polemic against slavery, a commonplace book into which he dropped writings by others as well as his own thoughts on a variety of subjects, haunting, surreal descriptions of slavery in Barbados, an annotated bibliography of what he read, and a vivid, scathing account of his own struggles against slave owners within the Quaker community. It is a founding text of Atlantic anti-slavery. Benjamin knew that Kinsey, Pemberton, and the other members of the Quaker Board of Overseers, who vetted all publications, would never approve the book. Most of them owned slaves. So he went directly to his friend, the printer Benjamin Franklin, and asked him to publish it. When Franklin saw a confused jumble of pages in a box, he expressed puzzlement about how to proceed. Lay answered, "Print any part thou pleaseth first. Assemble the materials in any order you like." As one exasperated reader later noted of the different parts of the book, the head might serve for the tail, and the tail for the body, and the body for the head, either end for the middle, and the middle for either end. Nay,